You know, before I was managing over 500k in total profit and funding, I was thinking to myself, how could I live a life where I don't have to worry about money, where my job is taking me around 10 minutes a day. I'm literally just looking at the screen from my home, right? I don't have to go to the office. I don't have to go anywhere. How can I achieve this to get to this point? And I asked myself, in which business can I do this? And the answer was trading. But what I didn't know at that time is that becoming a profitable trader is one of the hardest things that you can do. Now, once again, this is more of a real talk video. We'll go over the struggles and also psychology aspects of trading. Let me know if you want more of these in the comments. Now, the first point that I want to talk about is that you probably think that you deserve all of this. Now, this might be coming from a very far place, but hear me out. When you're seeing somebody having a large payout and you don't have that, then you'll be like, man, I deserve that too. I want that too. You're probably not saying these exact words as of I deserve having that, but you say I want that. But the real question you should ask yourself, do you deserve having these profits? Chances are probably not, because if you would really deserve it, then you would have it already. Now, of course, if you have just started trading, right, a couple of months ago, maybe even a year ago, then of course you cannot expect a 30k payout. But if you're already multiple years into this and you're still not profitable, because you didn't do the right things. Now, a lot of the times people think that hard work will always outmatch any talent, anything else that there is, right? That is not the case. You have to work on the right things in order to get to your goal. If you want to build a house out of concrete, but you are farming wood, then how are you going to get to that goal of having a full concrete house, right? So you're working towards the right goal. You have the right goal in mind, becoming a profitable trader, but you're not doing the right things in order to become a profitable trader. So how are you going to be profitable with this? Nobody is going to be profitable this way. So it's not just that, let me look at the charts the entire day, which that in itself is already completely wrong. If you're looking at the charts the entire day, that is already the complete wrong approach that you are going on about with trading. Now take your favorite athlete, all right? I don't know if you're into sports or anything like that, but take Cristiano Ronaldo, okay? He's training 4 hours a day every single day of the year just to play 1 hour on the football field and being seen live on television. So that is more than 1,000 hours he has spent in an entire year, right? That is just 1 year alone for just 1 hour where he just performing the best. And that is the same in trading. Looking at the charts the entire day is completely wrong. You misunderstood it. Now let us talk about why did you get into trading? Because you want to have a lot of money, but you want to spend as little time as possible. But you are doing the complete opposite in here. Now granted, in the start you have to learn a lot, right? It's not going to come out of nowhere, because there's really only 3 ways. Either you're going to learn it all yourself, which is going to take years. The second option is you have the right guidance, or the third, you're just going to quit trading. Right? These are the only 3 options really. But let me go back to a Cristiano Ronaldo example. Now you're looking at the charts the entire day. That is not beneficial at all. In fact, it's hurting your progress. You're going backwards looking at the charts the entire day. But now you'll be saying, but what is it? What do I have to do in order to make a lot of money and become a profitable trader? Now, it's the exact same with Cristiano Ronaldo. You have to do backtesting, the journaling, data collection. So what you're currently doing when you're looking at the charts the entire day, basically you're using that 90 minutes of Cristiano Ronaldo playing football as your practice, right? Which that should be your practice, that should be your peak performance. So translated into trading, that is you trading live in the markets. That should be the least amount of time that you're spending in everything when it comes to trading. Once again, why have you come into trading? A lot of money and the least possible time spent as possible. But that is the complete opposite of trading what you are doing currently. You're spending multiple hours a day looking at the live data and nothing has changed. You're taking loss after loss, because after taking one loss, potentially you will also lose another time. Now let me talk about the winner's mindset. There's a pretty known phenomenon in basically the animal kingdom, which is when an animal wins against another, then it's most likely or more likely going to win against the next fight, and the next fight, and the next fight. This is the winner's mindset. But the same works for the opposite too. If you are losing a lot of the times, or even just one time, that is screwing with your psychology, and most likely you're also going to lose the next time. So the only way to break through that entire cycle of just losing, going back in charts, losing, going back in charts over and over again is by completely closing the charts. There's really only two options that you can do in order to fix this. Either close the charts or close the charts and go back test. That's the only things that you can really do. If you really want to see the charts, look at them in the back test, in the back testing data, because else it's not going to work. Now, a very often and overlooked part about trading is that months and months and even years of progress can be wiped out within one single wrong decision. You know, within one bad decision, the entire months that you have grown your entire equity curve on your personal account or maybe a fund account, whatever it is, can all be wiped away with just one trading decision. Or maybe even if you just mistyped on your keyboard, you know, you put in one more zero into the lot size, boom, entire account is blown. That is because trading has so much responsibility on you. And this is the next thing. You have chosen to be an entrepreneur because you don't want to listen to your boss. You don't want to be told when you have to eat, when you have a break, when you have this, when you have that, right? But that comes with a cost. You don't understand that having this luxury of being your own boss comes with a big responsibility. Although I personally also don't like the 9-to-5. It's not made for me and probably also not for you. But an advantage of having the 9-to-5 is that you don't have to worry about a lot of the things that the boss have to worry. He has to worry about the expenses, he has to worry about the employment, he has to worry about paying you as an individual working in his company. You don't have to worry about all of that when you're just an employee. However, it comes with a big cost of you not being free. And this is what you don't understand. When you're a trader, the full responsibility is on you. When you're losing a trade, it's on you. When you're winning a trade, it's on you. When you did a mistake, it's on you. When you have blown the entire account on the personal account, it's on you. When the funded account is blown, guess whose fault is that? It's you. But one thing I can tell you for sure, once you're at this point where you're profitable like me and you don't have to worry about your financial situation anymore, then it's way easier also working, right? People think that, okay, when you get profitable, you'll just stop working. That is another lie that I don't know who told you that, but it's not going to be like that. When you're a profitable trader, that's when real business starts. Yes, I'm only spending 10 minutes a day trading live in the markets. Doesn't take much longer, right? Especially because I have a copy trading platform that copies all of my trades around all of my accounts. But that's a different story. But once you're in this position where you have a choice of either I'm going to work or I'm not going to work, you'll probably work the entire time. This is my point. Choice is the reason why we are doing this to begin with. Because in a 9-to-5, you don't have the choice. But here you have the choice. Either I'm going to work today or I'm not going to work today. But in this case, where you're already profitable, you will work always. Pretty much 99% of the time, when you have to work, you will also work. Because now the decision is on you. You can decide whether you're going to work today, whether you're going to take a trade or not, right? Now, first of all, taking a trade or not will mostly depend on the market and not on you. That's the first thing. But as a general thing, let's just say the setup appears and you actually have an opportunity market, but you don't feel like trading today, then you can just not trade today. That is the power of having the choice. So once again, because you have the choice, you will actually take a trade. You will actually do the work. Now, one thing that I have not told you about when people are starting to misunderstand you is that when they say something like you're a gambler, you're not become a full-time day trader, or this is all a scam, why are you doing this, and a bunch of different misunderstandings and questions and worries about family members, friends, social environment, whatever it is. The thing is that a lot of you guys see this as hate. People are hating me because they're just working a regular job and I'm working towards something bigger. Although that is the case, you are working towards something that is bigger than just a regular 9-to-5. Now here's the thing, everybody can work the 9-to-5, right? Everybody in the world, unless you're maybe mentally disabled or anything like that, you can work a regular 9-to-5 job. Become a profitable trader, not everybody can do that. Let's get that clear out of the way straight up. However, if they are saying these things to you, that you're a gambler, it's a scam and all of that, and you don't become a profitable trader, then they weren't even hating on you. You get my point? So if all of this comes true, that they have said you lost a lot of money, they have also said that, right? And it's a scam, you will not become profitable and not a full-time day trader, then guess what? Once again, it's not even hate. but it's the simple truth that they have told you beforehand. So in order to prove them wrong, you have to become a profitable trader. You need to do this so they are not right. You know, just out of that reason alone, I would already become a profitable trader. Out of this reason alone, this was already enough for me that I have to do this. I have to prove everybody wrong who is doubting me in this decision. You know how much personality-wise it depends on you being a profitable trader or not? It actually plays a significant role whether or not you will succeed in this or not. Now look, if you want to become a profitable trader, then you actually have to get the attributes of a profitable trader. So if I want to be the best farmer in the world, then I would have to do what the best farmer in the world has done before me. Wake up at 4 a.m., you know, feed the chicken, whatever it is. This is the same in trading. If you want the best trader you can ever be, then think to yourself, what is the best version of me that is already a profitable trader? You know, imagine the scenario where you are already at this place. You are already profitable. You are doing all of these kinds of things. What is that person doing? And then you have to ask yourself the right questions. Is he journaling his trades? Is he backtesting? Is he looking at the charts the entire day? Live trading and taking stop loss after stop loss just because they cannot handle their psychology? Or are they actually handling their psychology well? Ask yourself what that person would do in your situation. And then after you have figured out all of the answers, right? Write them down on a sheet of paper. What are the actions that are the profitable version of myself would take? And if you have all of the answers for all of these questions, you basically just have to do that exact thing. It's literally that simple. Becoming a profitable trader is not complicated, but it's hard. So, and this is a very big difference. Once again, it's hard, but it's not complicated. What you actually have to do in order to become a profitable trader is quite simple. I can tell it to you. Backtest, collect the data, journal, that's probably about it. And of course, handle your psychology, which we are doing in this video right now. Now, of course, you can also get the right guidance from someone who is already at that point to make it faster, but that's a different story. So after having these different questions and these different answers, what the version of yourself would do, you're basically doing the inevitable to success. This is what I always like to refer back to. If you are doing the inevitable in order to become a profitable trader, then of course, there's no other option than becoming profitable in trading. Now, as an example, if you have a fly in your house and you want to remove that fly, what are you going to do? You know, some kind of pest control, maybe you have some kind of traps for the fly. You know, there's different options you have in order to remove a fly from your house. But take the example a little bit more literal. What can I do to make it impossible for the fly to survive? It's when I nuke the entire house down. That is the only way that I can reassure myself that the fly is not going to survive. Now, of course, this is a very hard example and don't nuke your entire house down. But I hope you get my point here. If it is so important to me to remove that one single fly, then I have to nuke down my house. Is that worth it? Of course, in that case, it's not. But is it worth it to you to sacrifice friends, being misunderstood, family members even, and a lot of money, time and stress in order to get to this point? If the answer is no, then trading is probably the wrong thing that you're pursuing. Now, I know since you are watching the video all the way to this point, I know that you are very serious about trading. And I know that you will not just quit trading, because sometimes you just need someone that is telling you how to become a profitable trader. You know, the thing is that in the very beginning, when I was just starting to be a profitable trader, I was really only just backtesting 8 hours a day, you know, in and out every single day. I was backtesting. And matter of fact, there hasn't been a single day in over 5 years where I have not looked into the charts at least once. There has not been a single day. Even when I'm not taking a trade, I am looking at the charts. Is that healthy? Now, probably not, but am I taking bad decisions and taking a trade just because I see something that isn't even there on the charts? No. Because I stay disciplined, I only look at the charts. Now here's a key difference. If you're disciplined enough to look at the charts but not make a random decision, then it's okay to look at the charts. But if you cannot hold yourself back from taking the bad trading setup or a setup that isn't even there to begin with, then you should close TradingView and go on with your day. Now once again, if you are not able to go on with your day, go and backtest. Go and backtest, it's that easy. My friend asked me for advice. And he said that, how can I become a profitable trader? Firstly, he got into me and he was like, man, after all these, years at this time, what are you actually even doing, Typical boys talk. We don't even really talk about what we're doing. We're just hanging out. But he was like, man, what are you up to? And I was like, yeah, I'm a full-time day trader. He was like, what, really? How can I get into this? And since this is a very long-lasting friend, this is not just anybody, I was willing to help him, but I was straight up from the start. This will take a lot of time, effort, stress, money, and whatever else you can imagine in order to achieve this. And he was like, man, I'm ready for this. I always like to say that time will show if you are actually ready or if you're serious about something, right? This is the only indicator that never lies. Time will tell. And so we got basically into work, right? Before that, he was already trying to achieve profitability and it wasn't working for him. Obviously, because trading is just that hard. However, after talking a lot and he was basically asking for my guidance, I was like, okay, man, I'm ready to help you. Let's actually get the things straight and clear out all of the noise that you have in your head. Let's make you a profitable trader, basically. But imagine this, he was trying to become a profitable trader for, I think it was 1.5 years, and he was not profitable with it. It's because if you go this journey and having to learn it on your own, it's not impossible to learn it, but there's reasons why there's so few of us profitable traders, and not just for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Whoever is watching this video, if you think that you're profitable after trading for 1 month or 2 months live, you're not profitable. I'm telling you the full story and the full truth that you have to hear and not what you want to hear. You are not a profitable trader. If you are trading just for a couple of months on live markets and saying like, yeah, bad market conditions or whatever. No, you're not profitable, and I can guarantee you that. Simply because the statistics don't lie, right? Numbers don't lie. There's a reason why it's said that 90% of traders lose 90% of their capital within 90 days. But in fact, it's actually even way more. If you go past those 90 days, then even less of the percentage of traders are actually profitable. But more so to my friend. Now, since he is a very long-lasting friend, I am not gonna charge him for any kind of mentoring, right? And we sat down every single evening, and after 1.5 months, he got funded. That is how easy it is, and that's actually how simple it can be. Because you don't have to watch all of these YouTube videos, you just have to have the right guidance on how to become profitable. Or take the other path, which will take you years, stress, time, and money. Now, what I also wanted to mention, if you want to become funded before 2026, I don't know when you're watching this video, I'm going to pass your Profit Challenge. On the top right of your screen, there's an info card. You can click on it and it will direct you to an exclusive video, which is only for the ones that are watching this video, where I'm going to explain to you how I'm going to pass your Profit Challenge risk-free. Or you can also go down to the description or comment section, is also linked down below there. Now back to my friend, and he was so thankful. He was like, man, I could have never actually done this without you basically showing me everything that there is and how to become profitable. And he was like, how can this be so easy? Why was I not profitable over 1.5 years of trading? But when you sat down with me one-on-one, explaining to me how the things work, why did it get all so easy and so fast? It's because I told him trading in itself is not complicated. There's really not much that you can learn in trading, right? Most of the time, everything that you already know is already enough to be a profitable trader. But you need to have them all sorted out. So if you have 10,000 different things, right, all over the place, then you have all of the knowledge, but if you're not using the knowledge correctly, then it's not going to work. Similar to what I've explained to you earlier, if you're not working towards your goal in the right pace, or doing the right things, you're not going to be profitable and not going to achieve your goal. It's the same for that. So you have to sort all of these kinds of concepts and risk management parameters and all of this kind of stuff in the right places, and then you can become a profitable trader. So before you're going to leave this video, on the left screen you can see the entire playlist regarding to my strategy, and on the right you can subscribe to the channel so you're not going to miss any of these videos. I post a lot of different strategy videos and also these real talks if you enjoy them more. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next one.